Okay, folks, so we've got a lot to talk about. I want to talk about what the heck is going on with CCIV and PLTR, and of course, I want to give you a Green Day congratulations to many folks who bought when everybody was panicking yesterday. Folks who saw the red day yesterday and put their pinkies up and said, I'm going to exploit this. And before we go into all of this, the only thing that I ask of you in return is that you hit that ravishing like button, and also don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so first, PLTR had a very nice day today. This was the big stock that we talked about in yesterday's This Will Double video, and it's great to see this little rally, but we've been stressing throughout the entire downtrend that this is a $55 play, so this little rally was nice, but there's definitely a lot more to go. Talked earlier this week about how ARK drastically increased their position in PLTR during the dip on earnings. And they actually went and bought more yesterday as well. It wasn't the same as the massive acquisition they took from earlier in the week, but still, the continued buying at dips really goes to show ARK's commitment to getting a good deal. But anyways, nothing new with PLTR besides that. My price target is staying consistent at $55. I've really said $55 a lot. You should take a shot every time I say $55. Shot of tea, kids. Don't take shots of anything else. We were the #1 channel during Prohibition. But in all honesty, I'm looking forward to seeing how PLTR performs next week. And you know how I've been telling you how the financial media just is so biased against PLTR. We've talked about that quite a bit, and I don't want to rant about it, but you know that when PLTR goes down, all of the media is like, oh my god, finally PLTR is going to its true valuation at 0. And then when PLTR goes up, they try to discredit it. PLTR becomes an unlikely darling of the GameStop crowd. PLTR is a meme stock. Oh yeah, PLTR is such trash. If it rallies, it has to be propped up by the Wall Street Bets crowd. It has to be the next GameStop. There's no value to this at all. The amount of consistency in the hate on this stock is insane. Okay, next, our Riot play did very well today. Very nice bounce after the panic sell. This was not super surprising. Bitcoin is holding pretty strong today. I believe it broke into 55, 56, and yesterday's panic in Riot and Mara were very good. A lot of people don't like it when stocks breathe, but I say let it take a breath. If you keep going without breathing, you're gonna pass out. My price target on Riot remains $95. And my take is that Bitcoin overall throughout 2021 is going to continue in an overall upward direction. And I saw an interesting article the other day that said Tesla may have already made more in profits from Bitcoin than electric vehicles. At the time of the article, Bitcoin was trading at 50,000, now it's trading at 55,000. And assuming that Tesla got in the mid to high 40s, I could definitely see this being the case. But it's actually kind of a funny thing because Tesla created this sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. By buying it, they got a good entry price, and then everybody else thought that they were buying it, so everybody else bought it, and that got the price even higher. That basically means that Tesla got a great return simply by taking a position. If I was the CEO of Apple or some other large company that a lot of people follow and respect, and I saw this, I'd be like, And overall, the more institutions adopt this, the easier it is for other institutions to adopt this, and the more people believe in Bitcoin, and the more value people are going to attribute to Bitcoin, and the higher it's going to go up. So I mean, pretty interesting situation we have right now with Bitcoin. I think we're going to be very, very happy with where Bitcoin goes throughout 2021, and I think we're going to be very happy with our Bitcoin mining stocks, especially Riot. Okay, next, Ozon, our Russian Amazon play, performed very nicely. Shout out to folks who bought this. This is actually one of my own long-term holdings that I'm planning on holding for quite a long time. And I'm quite excited about it. One of my passions is looking in underdeveloped markets and then trying to find really good opportunities in underdeveloped markets for emerging technologies that have already pretty much emerged in other countries. And e-commerce has definitely not made it in Russia, but they've also not made it in Africa. It's actually way behind. That reminds me of Jumia. Jumia, once again, is getting into a nice discounted area. I'm a really big fan of this play, and we're going to have earnings coming out next week on the 24th. The last two earnings actually resulted in massive beatdowns because people had boosted expectations, and obviously the African market is a difficult market, so a lot of the short-term money panics every time earnings come out. But this time we might actually see some positivity. You already know that Q4 of 2020 should have been very, very good for them. They had good holiday sales, they had a Black Friday sale going on, and all of that sort of thing, and they should have some really strong plans in terms of guidance for 2021. And if they do beat on earnings, I would be willing to upgrade it. If they don't beat on earnings, I'm probably just going to keep it the same. If they really miss, which I don't think that's going to happen, but if they really miss, I would downgrade it. But I really do believe in Jumia. I don't think they're going to disappoint us. Okay, ACIC, another one of my long-term holdings, actually cooled off today. You may recall they are merging with Archer, and my price target on this one is $45 long-term. Took a breath today after getting a lot of attention earlier this week. No problem. I see this as making a lot of sense to buy if you're willing to have a long-term time horizon with this guy. Go ahead and talk about CCIV. So CCIV took an 8.8% hit today. I know a lot of people are asking what news caused this, but the news that caused this was no news. We've seen several times in the past where the financial media will go and hype and say, oh, there's a deal imminent. And then everybody goes and buys in. All the short money starts flowing in because they think they're going to get instant profits. And then when the deal doesn't immediately go through, the stock price gets beat down because the short-term money's like, hey, I don't want to wait a couple more days. Screw this. In all seriousness, though, these guys at CCIV and Lucid are just complete turtles. I mean, it's been like 6 weeks since I made the original argument that I thought that CCIV and Lucid were going to get the merger. And at the time, I saw it taking maybe 3 to 4 weeks to happen. But this has really been dragged out. Part of this was good because it gave it more time to factor in a lot of hype. And a lot of you guys locked in a lot of profits during this uptrend, which is something that's great to see. Never feel bad about a successful trade. But at the same time, I want to see the deal actually go through. We'll get an original huge pop, and then you're going to see the hype settle down for a little bit, and you can get a better deal, and then you can buy it and then ride the pre-anticipatory run up to the actual merger. And if we know these turtles, we know that this could take months to actually merge. Once they actually confirm the merger talks, then they actually have to go through and do the stuff to actually merge. For those of you who are waiting for the SBE merger, I mean, you've been waiting for months and months and months, and it still hasn't merged yet. So my take is the same as it's been for the last week. Take some profits as it goes up to each level. At the end of the day, way back when we talked about it, it was at 14, 15 bucks. I originally thought this was going to 40 or 50 bucks. If it was actually confirmed, and it went way above that, and we upgraded the price target a while back to 70 to 80 bucks. But we're still in the area where it's a drastic difference between when we first started talking about it and where it is now. So do not feel bad about locking in some profits and taking some risk off the table. Yes, I would leave some in there so that when the original pop happens, you can really seal in a lot of profit. But I'm telling you, you're going to get another good deal after the mergers are confirmed and the hype dies down and people are like, oh, I don't care about Lucid anymore. No more fast profits. And then all of a sudden, you're going to start seeing more pre-anticipatory running up to the actual merger, and then as Lucid starts rolling off their cars off the lot in spring. Okay, now for the ticker of the day of the ticker. No, that doesn't make sense. The ticker of the day. So a lot of you guys have asked me about UAVS. Now, UAVS had gotten beaten down on a short seller report, and being that this was one of our old plays that we told you guys back when it was trading at 156, we had some people wondering why I didn't pounce on this as it got hit by that short seller report. When it comes to short seller reports, people panic first and ask questions second, so obviously you're going to see a bounce. Well, what I told ZipTrader U members this morning was yes, they were bouncing back nicely as the company defended itself, but be careful as the short seller had some good points. Now, when it comes to short sellers, I tend to not have a very favorable view of short sellers, but at the end of the day, some of them do have some really good points, and if they have good points, I'm going to hear the good points. I understand that's not a popular opinion, but sometimes they find some good points. Most of the time what they do is they take maybe 3 or 4 really good points and then they exaggerate them. But still, at the very basis of it, you can see the good points, and sometimes they could be things that you didn't think of. The real reason that I didn't pounce on UAVS is because at the end of the day, I didn't really agree with the valuation. I understand that it's up a lot since we started talking about it, but still, at the end of the day, if I can't justify valuation, I'm not going to endorse it. The problem is that when it comes to very strong hype plays that are like 99% hype, you can't really value hype. I mean, you could use technical analysis and sort of look at the iterations of growth, like if it grew this much on this day based on how much volume it has, and then sort of project that moving forward. But I don't make my price targets like that unless the stock is trading really cheap and has a very high potential. And with UAVS, I saw that back in summer when it was trading way below where it is even now. And back then it made sense because there's an intense amount of hype potential. But the folks who traded this with us locked in their profits quite a long time ago. I'll be keeping my eye on this one and I'll be watching to see what happens. But right now, that's my take. Go ahead and comment below what tickers you'd like me to cover in tomorrow's video or at the end of tomorrow's video, and I'll go ahead and cover that. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us below as well. You can also join us on ZipTrader Circle. If you'd like to get some free stocks and sign up with a great broker, we do have a link to Webull below. If you'd like to learn how to trade, would like access to our price targets, our daily morning briefings, and of course our private chat, I'll go ahead and put the link to ZipTrader U in the description below. Of course, only join us if you're ready to put the work in. We don't want people joining and then not using the resources. Anyways, folks, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.